Welcome to this week's Hymn of the Week. This week we have ELW 708, Jesu, Jesu, fill us with your love. We see that the text was constructed by Tom Calvin, and he wrote it in 1963, and it's based on John 13, chapter 13, verses 2 to 17, where the disciples' feet are being washed by Jesus. And what's interesting about this text is that it was written in Chereponi, which we see the tune name here is Chereponi. I believe that's the right way of saying it, in northern Ghana. And 3-month-old Christians were training to be local church volunteers in the community. And they were going to do that in addition to sharing the gospel. So this is a quote by Tom Calvin. He says, "Theirs was the real Christian service which inspired the words." So that's how he came up with these words as he was seeing them training for this extra service that they would do in the community, and some of it agricultural. So we already mentioned that the tune was named for the place where they were gathering as the local Christians, Chereponi in Ghana, and it was initially published by the Iona community, and it was called Free to Serve, Hymns from Africa, and that was in 1968. So we have a folk tune that's a pretty old tune, actually, when we look in today's, if we're looking at today's analysis of how quickly songs are arising and are being written. But a great tune. And what makes it easy to sing is its sequences. So we have in the verses, and we have the same pattern starting on a different note, also known as a sequence, and then here as well. So those sequences, I think, they may be a coincidence, but I think it ties in with the idea of service, because we are trying to emulate Jesus Christ as Christians, or try to live like Jesus, or want to be more like Jesus. And so those sequences in very many ways remind us of that. So this, I plan to play this very simply. I'm going to use mutation stops on the organ, create a synthetic clarinet, since there's not a real clarinet on this instrument, but it gives an idea of that. So here is Jesu, Jesu, fill us with your love. So it does have that light sound, which I wanted to bring out, and that's why I've made up my own accompaniment for it. I think it's best instead of playing what's in the book. And also, I'm creating a more broken chord format in the left hand when the melody's being sold out. So thank you very much for listening to Hymn of the Week.